Okay, last page. What does the imaginary number I represent? Guys, this is a true-false statement. It is D. I is the square root of -1. It's why we can pull that negative out and make it an I. 11. What are the solutions to the equation? Again, I'm looking at this. I am probably going to do quadratic equation. So I need to get, honestly, I'm going to move all this over. So minus 2x minus 23. So I end up with x squared minus 2x minus 23 equals 0. I just like having the x positive. And then I'm going to use my quadratic equation. Negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So in this case, my b is a -2. So negative of a -2 is a +2 plus or minus -2 squared minus 4 times 1 times -23 all over 2 times 1. I can plug that into my calculator. Parenthesis -2 minus 4 parenthesis 1 parenthesis -23. I get 90. So I have 2 plus or minus the square root of 90 over 2. Look at my options. I have a 22 and a 6. Well, why don't I divide it by 22 and by 6 and see what happens? 90 divided by 22 is a fraction. 90 divided by 6, 90 divided by 6 is 15. Well, 15 is not a perfect square. Ooh, you know what? I misentered in my calculator. It should have been parenthesis -2 squared minus 4 parenthesis 1 parenthesis -23. Should have gotten us a 96. Sorry, not 90, 96. So let's do that. 96 divided by 22 is a fraction. We still don't like it. 96 divided by 6 is 16, and that is a perfect square. So 16 and 6. So already we knew that C and B were out because that was square root of 22 and that didn't work. But I could leave a 6 and pull the 16 out as a 4. So now I have 2 plus or minus 4 square root of 6 over 2. And then I'm just reducing. All of these can be divided by 2. So that's a 1, that's a 2, that's a 1, which means that disappears. So I'm looking for a 1 plus or minus 2 square root of 6. It's a positive 1. I'm looking for A. So this is talking about when we're completing a square. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to divide this over here. Or I'm going to subtract it. So if I minus 49 from both sides, I'm going to get 2x squared minus 20x equals negative 30. All of this can be divided by 2. So I end up with x squared minus 10x equals negative 15. And to complete the square, okay, x squared minus 10x plus something equals negative 15 plus something. So again, we're going back to this b over 2 squared business. My b is negative 10. Negative 10 divided by 2 is negative 5. Negative 5 squared is a positive 25 and 25. So that means this is x minus 5 squared. And that simplifies to 10. They just want to know what the number is over here. So my answer for D is 10. I'm solving. I can do completing the square because that's going to be super easy. We've already kind of done that because we've already had a 10 in the middle. So I'm going to do it down below. X squared plus 10x plus something equals 39 plus something. Same thing. What's my B? 10. 10 divided by 2 is a positive 5. So positive 5 squared is 25 and 25. So that turns into x, it was a positive 5 before we squared it, so it's a positive 5 in here, squared equals 39 plus 25. So that's 50, 64. We can square root both sides. I get x plus 5 equals, the square root of 64, guys, is a perfect square. It's a positive or a negative 8. Minus 5 minus 5. So I get x equals negative 5 plus or minus 8. Well, negative 5 minus 8 is a negative 13. Negative 5 plus 8 is a positive 3. So positive 3 and negative 13, my answer is A. Which of the following is equivalent to this? So first we're looking for something with an I because that's negative. If it's the square root, so just doing that, it's I times the square root of 121. Well, can the square root of 121 be 121? No. Is the square root of 121 11? If you check it in your calculator, the answer is going to be yes, and that's it. Last problem. Which of these expressions will equal this? All we're doing is we're adding and subtracting. So I have a 6 minus 2, which gives me a 4. So we're working so far. I minus 8 i's, so 1 minus 8 is a negative 7i. That looks like it works. Let's just double check the other ones. 6 plus 2 would have gotten me an 8. I plus 8i would have gotten me a plus 9i. That did not work. 6 plus 2 would have gotten me an 8. Negative I plus a negative 8i would have been a negative 9i. That didn't work. And then down here, 6 minus 2 would have gotten me the 4. But negative 1 minus negative 8. Negative 1 minus negative 8i. Which is really negative 1 plus 8. Which gives me a 4 positive 7i. We needed a negative 7i. So my answer was A. And that is your test.